Good morning. Disappointment and how you handle them. This morning I was getting started and it would not let me in, wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do, and there was some disappointment. Disappointment is a part of your and my life. It's just going to be something that happens to you and I because we live in a fallen world. My question is, how do you handle disappointment? When I look at Job, Job was one of the most misunderstood individuals in the Bible, and his story is one of the most misquoted, misunderstood stories in the entire Bible. There's a lot of things you can misunderstand in the Bible, but that's probably number one that I've heard misused. Job was a representative man. He represented you and I to the entirety of the world. He was the man on trial, and Satan was trying to do a thing, God was trying to do a thing, and Job was right in the middle representing you and I. There's so much we can learn about the story of Job, but one of the things I want to just share briefly this morning is disappointment. Job was a very wealthy individual, had children, a happy marriage. He and his wife had, a good life. He had a good income. Things were going well. They were celebrating birthdays. And he lost everything in just a moment's notice. How many of you know that can be really disappointing? You build up a business and then you just lose it overnight. The economy takes you out, or a fire, or whatever it might be. And then there's your children, and you love your children, and you have a great relationship with your children, and then they're no longer here. They're gone. And on it goes. And so there are, in the story of Job, there are three different ways disappointment was handled. One is Job's wife. Just curse God and die. Again, there's this blame God. It must be his fault of this disappointment. This thing that you wanted that didn't come to pass, it must be that God is against you. We know you serve God. We know you love God, but God doesn't like you. Just curse God and die. Now remember, this is his wife. She's been through a lot. She watched her children die. She watched his livelihood go away. She watched her husband get afflicted with the disease that there was no reason or rhyme for. And so I understand, but think about her response. This has to be God's fault. And you've been serving God all this time for what? To have you have been afflicted like this? Just curse God and die. Then there's Job's friends. You must be doing something wrong. Now, I don't know, we call them Job's friends loosely. I think they really did care about Job. I think they really were his friends, but they had a messed up view of theology. And in their mind, they're the religious individuals amongst us, that the reason you're going through these struggles must be you're doing something wrong. There has to be sin in your life for this thing not to work out the way it should have worked out. Obviously, you're missing the mark somewhere. You just need to look deep and find out what's going on, because you obviously set this up by something that you have done. And yet the scripture is really, really clear. As we get a chance to read the whole story, Satan did all these things, and it wasn't about Job. The only thing Job did was he served God and loved God and was a righteous man. And then there's Job's response. And even it has been misquoted and misunderstood. But Job says about all these things, he says, even if he kills me, even if he slays me, yet will I trust him. What an amazing stance. Now, I don't know, again, exactly what was going on in his heart, and neither do you. That's why we fill in a bunch of blanks. But to have that kind of faith and trust in the Lord, that the most disappointing things an individual can go through, the loss of your children, the loss of your business, the loss of the support of your spouse, Job says, I got nowhere to go. I have to trust the character of God, the nature of God, who God is. And even if he kills me, there's a reason for it. I'm going to trust him. I love that kind of faith, and I don't see very much of that kind of faith in this world anymore. If it's raining, we don't go to church. If we don't get a red Cadillac, we get a blue one instead. We bail out on God because we really wanted a red one. This kind of faith sets you up for a double blessing. My encouragement is, if you're going to take a stance, don't be Job's friends and think, oh my goodness, there must be something I'm doing wrong. Don't take Job's wife's stance, just curse God a guy, must be God's fault. Take Job's stance and say, I'm going to trust the Lord. And even in this disappointment, I'm going to trust the Lord. Let me tell you what I have found is that oftentimes in my life, not every time, but oftentimes in my life, the disappointments of my life, because I've kept my heart right, have turned into moments of delight. Yes, you heard me correctly, delight. There have been jobs I turned down, or jobs I wasn't hired for, that I just knew I was supposed to get. And I didn't get that job, but I got another one, and it ended up being a better job with better money and better hours. I can't tell you how many times we've been to the doctors with my son when he was going through these surgeries, and they delayed us, and there was a disappointment because it was going to happen on Monday, and then it got delayed till the following Thursday or something, only to find out the doctor that was going to do it wasn't a Christian, and the doctor that did the surgery was a Christian, and he was available on Thursday. Not only that, 95% of the staff on Thursday were Christians and had Michael's name on their list that they took to their church to pray for and pray about. I cannot tell you how many times in my lifespan of serving the Lord that because I've kept my heart right and trusted the Lord, the disappointments in life often came on the backside with delight. At the very worst, even when those things came to pass and didn't rectify themselves, I grew and became a better person because I learned to handle adversity well. So my question to you today again is, how do you handle disappointment? My encouragement is, trust the Lord and let him turn that disappointment into delight. Have a great week. Looking forward to seeing you next week. Love y'all so much. Let me see if I can pull up a few folks and say hi to before we leave. This is always a rush. Leslie, thank you for listening. Mary, Rachel, Tammy, bless y'all so much. Thank you for being so faithful. I'm just grateful again that anybody would watch. Y'all have a blessed day. Share this with someone if you think it'd bless someone you're connected to. And together, you and I will save thousands of lives. Have a great week.